So how do we always perform under pressure? And sometimes, like most of the time, everything seems out of control. Now in this episode, I'm gonna break down 3 steps so that you can always perform on any project under pressure. I used to get a lot of pressure before, especially when I start doing the things that it's my first time. I remember those days where I shoot a wedding for the first time, and I really took a leap to really try to shoot weddings, and it kind of scares me. But prior to that date of shooting, I watched tons of videos on how to shoot a wedding and things to prepare and all those stuff, and I get so nervous. Like by the time I get closer to the date of the wedding, my wife and other friends will say like, "Oh, just calm down, just relax, everything will be alright." And I used to like tell myself like, what the heck, like just calm down and you'll be fine. And this is what or why most people struggles, is that when people tell them that just calm down, it really triggers their brain to just simply relax. And when you do this, your brain will tell you what to do, like relax, and your brain will shut down and won't try to think of any other things or any other solution to motivate you to pump up your creativity when, let's say, you're a creative person or you are just doing your stuff in whatever industry you're in. And it really comes down with these 3 things, and if you learn these 3 things, it will be a game changer for you. So the first thing is, instead of you telling yourself just to calm down, why don't you tell yourself to get excited? Now, when we calm down, or sometimes when we are nervous, our brain sends signal to our whatever part of our body is to push some adrenaline in our body. That is just the defense mechanism of our body every time we're so stressed or we are afraid, or we're about to escape from something, and they call it like fight or flight, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. And by the time this adrenaline rush is in our system, once we tell ourselves just calm down, try to take advantage of this adrenaline rush and get excited. And then that's the first step that I want you to do. Always remember this: every time you deliver a speech, every time you talk to the prospect to close the deal, or every time you shoot a video, or every time you talk to the camera, or every time you interview someone, instead of you telling yourself just calm down because you feel nervous, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to ask, then tell yourself get excited. And then you'll take advantage of this adrenaline rush, and then it will enable, or you take your brain and get creative, and you will be able to control the other side of your brain, which control creativity. And then the second tip is equate. Now, what is equate? Now, sometimes when we are dealing with high-paying clients and the pay is getting more expensive, sometimes we put more pressure to ourselves, and sometimes it's just like from 3,000 clients to 5,000 clients to 10,000 up to 50,000. Sometimes we treat those clients differently, and based on the price or based on the pay that they pay you, sometimes you put pressure on it. But the second tip that I want you to remember is equate everything. Now, whatever you do from the first task, or like from the previous client who pay you less, is still the same work that you will be doing on the expensive client that you will be dealing with. The thing is, you need to anchor yourself to the things that no matter what happened, you know what you were doing. So instead of you putting the pressure because this is a bigger client and what I've been doing before is just low ticket client, then that's the time you get in trouble. That's the time you struggle because you just put too much pressure. I remember when I first shoot a wedding and I only charged like $1,000 for that wedding, and it's only video. So I said like, I think that's fair enough. The price is fair enough for the couples. And although they express some struggles with when it comes to finances, then I kind of like understand like, okay, so maybe $1,000 is just like the right price for this client. Now here comes the wedding, and then at the same time there is also other photographers. Then when I asked some of the people that is part of the wedding, they said that the photographer is $2,900, like almost $3,000. And I said to myself like, what the heck, they're only doing photos, but yet they're charging 3,000. I'm doing videos, I do a lot of work, and I need to craft a story, but I charge less. And then I found out when I did a little research that it's about positioning. It's about how you present or how you value your service or your product that will enable your client or your prospect or customer to solve their problem, which in this case, they want to have a keepsake of their wedding. They have to at least watch their wedding day, maybe 5 years or 10 years later on. And then I said to myself, okay, so what is the main thing that it enables them to charge more? And then I found out that it's about anchoring and positioning. Now, the more you position yourself as the expert in your industry, the more you can charge more, as long as you can back it up with your work, as long as you can back it up with quality and customer service, and everything will be smoothly as possible, where prospect or your customer to just simply be present on their wedding. Then after that one, I just jack up my price to at least 10 times, and then it seems like the couples or the client can comfortably pay what I want to charge them. And that really opens up my mind. And then I started putting up more pressure on myself, because like, okay, this is a bigger client, so I need to work more for this client. And then I learned that the same effort that I put in from lower client to higher paying client are still the same. So I said, like, why bother putting the pressure on me and just do the things that I'm good at? And then everything changed and flipped into the other side, and it's a game changer. And the last tip that I want to give you is control. Now, control are one of the most important things that you can focus, and there are things that you can do in order for you to stay on track and don't get distracted and be focused on the things that you do. Now, when we do some tasks, sometimes we blame it to other people. When we get late to, let's say, a meeting or to a conference or to work, we most of the time blame because it's traffic, because something happened, because my car broke down. And those are the things that we just simply make, or sometimes we create and try to come up with some reasons. But in fact, what we're just trying to focus on are the things that we can control. Now, that there's a traffic from your house going to your work, and sometimes, even though we know that there is traffic, let's say 10 minutes or 15 or 30 minutes traffic in between, we still leave the house at the same time. But what if you can leave your house like an hour early? The more you focus on the things that you can control, like the weather or it's snowing, or what if you focus on the things that you can control? Like, I remember when I was shooting some events, I used to stress out, okay, this is so amazing today, the sun is up, and then by the time I get to the location, it's getting gloomy, it's getting cloudy, and it's starting to rain. I always get stressed out with that, and then I learn and focus on the things that I can control. So whatever happens to the weather, what if I can just focus on the camera, because these are the things that I can control. I can just focus on my lighting, I can just focus on the audio of my video, and I can pretty much curate this and do this as good as I can in the post-production. So these are the things that I want you to remember, and I just want you to always remember this, that when you get nervous to do something, always remember that instead of telling yourself to be calm, tell yourself to get excited. And the second thing is, instead of you putting more pressure on your side, because from low paying clients to high paying clients, you get more pressure to it. What if you will think about the things that you do with your low paying clients? You're exerting the same effort from your low paying clients to your high paying clients. It's just the pay is different, and then you're dealing with other client which is has more value to the project that they want you to work on. Then the third and the last one is focus on the things that you can control. Forget about the weather, forget about other people, focus on yourself. What are the things that you can control? Focus on your camera. If you're shooting a video, focus on your message. If you want to creating content and so that you will grow your brand, focus on the things that you can control and not the things that you can't control. So I hope you learned something in this episode. If you have any questions, please leave in the comment box down below and let's have a conversation about this, and hopefully this will open up another conversation that will lead to a good solution, and hopefully it can help you, it can help other people who will be watching this in the near future. Or if you know someone that needs to hear this message, just simply click the share button, send it to them so that they can also solve their own problem. So without further ado, thanks again for watching, and then I'll see you the next one. Yeah, ciao for now.